For Unit 3, Part 2 review, we're going to start with the story problem here, the real-life application. So we want to represent this information in point-slope form. So first of all, we need to recognize that we have a point. This is our point, x and y. And since it's the first row given to us, that's going to be x1 and y1. Okay, and then we need to find m. So to find the m, we're going to look for our consecutive numbers here, 3 and 4. And then we go over to the cost, and we're just going to subtract these two numbers. Since these were consecutive, we can subtract these. And so we're going to say 12.75 minus the 11.25. Okay, and that represents our slope. Okay. So now we have x1, we have y1, and we have our slope. Also at the top of this paper, it gives you slope-intercept form right here. Okay. I also have it written here just so it's a little bit easier to see. So for our answer, we're going to do y minus y1. Well, y1 we labeled 11.25. Our slope we found was 1.50. And then we have x minus x1, which is 3. Okay. Now, down here in number 2, this whole front page will be multiple choice on the actual test. But for the review, we're just going to have you write what is point-slope form, the slope-intercept form, and the standard form of this line here on this graph. So first, I need to find some things. I need to find a point. Right here, it says point-slope form. I need to find a point. So I'll use that first left point, which is this one here, and that would be -4, 0. Okay, so we went -4, but we didn't go up or down. So -4, 0. And that's x1 and y1. Then for our slope, it says slope, so we found a point. Now we're finding our slope. We're going to rise 3 and run 4. So 3/4. And then down to number 3, it says we have to find slope-intercept form. So we have our slope, but our y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, which is at 3, right here, this dot 3. So now that I have all the pieces, I can go make all the equations. So we look again at the point-slope form. It might be helpful to write that down and then plug in all your numbers. So the green letters here is what I'm plugging into. So I've got y minus y1. y1 is 0. My slope is 3/4. And then x minus x1 is a -4. But we know that two negatives should make a positive, so we're going to make that a plus sign here. Okay. We also discussed in class that if you see a -0, if you had a +0, that is also acceptable. So either one of those answers with a plus or a -0 would be acceptable. Now for number 3, slope-intercept form, we have y equals mx plus b. So we look, we have m, we have b. We're plugging these two numbers in for these two spots here. So y equals our m, 3/4 x plus b, which is 3. Okay. And then from this, I've got to put this in standard form. So I need to multiply all of these by 4. So I've got 4y. These 4's cancel, and we have 3x. And then 4 times 3 is 12. To put it in standard form, I have to have x and y on the same side. So standard form looks like this, and you can see that x and y are on the same side there of the equation. So I need to move the 3x over here in front of the y, and I do that by subtracting 3x to both sides. So I have a -3x. This 4 is a positive, so positive 4y equals 12. So now I'm going to make sure that all 3 of these answers are listed over here. Okay, but again, your test is multiple choice, so you would just put what letter it is. Okay, so one more time, wrap up. When you come to this problem, find your point, your slope, and your y-intercept. Right here, these words are going to help you figure that out. Point, slope, intercept. Okay, so that right there is telling you what to find in this line.